Free Japan Channel, number 14. Today, November 29th, Wednesday. And time is 11 p.m. So, night sky is spreading above me. Usually, this FJC channel is broadcast in Yokohama, but here is Hiroshima. Now I'm in Hiroshima. And today, from here, FJC broadcasting is conducted. Dear listeners, how are you doing? I'm Matsumoto speaking. Today's topic is the fourth theory of Dugin. Have you ever heard of the name of Alexander Dugin? Dugin is a philosopher of Russia who advocates the geopolitics in his theory of books. But unfortunately, his theory is not so introduced in the English-speaking world, and of course, as well as in Japanese-speaking world. But Dugin himself speaks English, and we can grasp his theory from his interviews, from his contribution to the convention, political convention. So today, I would like to introduce his theory, the fourth theory, to you. What is the fourth theory? Dugin employs this term, the fourth theory, meaning that the first, second, third theories were already introduced in human society by Westerners, but all of these three theories or ideologies failed, according to Dugin. So he says that we, including Russians, but also other peoples, we should devise another more feasible theory. And this is the fourth theory. And there is no technical term indicating this fourth theory now. So we have no choice but to call the fourth theory. Of course, if Dugin's idea will be or is spread in the future widely, then this fourth theory will be given some suitable name. But now, at least, we should call it the fourth theory. So Dugin also calls it so. The first three ideology or theories are liberalism, nationalism, and communism. These three theories were derived from Western society or Western ideologies. First, liberalism was rooted in the trend of philosophy in the 18th century and 19th century. The French Revolution was the representative event of this liberalism, of course. And not only Kant, German philosopher Kant, but also British economist John Stuart Mill, and they were all advocating the freedom or liberty. So liberalism can be said to be from 18th century and 19th century in the Western society. Next, nationalism. Nationalism was also born after the Napoleon War. This is 19th century. And after the Napoleon War, each nation in the European continent became aware of their own nationality. So before the Napoleon War, they were not so conscious of their own nationality, but Napoleon came to them, and they means the European nations faced this foreign troops or foreign influence of Napoleon, and they for the first time, realized that they were unique or they were different from this Napoleon troops, Napoleon army. And from this war, Napoleon War, European nations got the idea that they were unique and they should be one nation. From the Napoleon War, the national consciousness, in one word, spread rapidly across the continent. Third, communism. The previous stage of the communism is socialism, and socialist ideas were also born in the 19th century, the latter half of 19th century. It is needless to say that Karl Marx was the representative of this socialist movement or socialist civilization. But not only Karl Marx, but other socialists were very active in the 19th century. And in the 20th century, in 1917, in Russia, the first socialist revolution, or communist revolution, so to speak, broke out, and it succeeded. The Soviet Union lasted for 70 years after that. Not only the Soviet Union, but also Eastern Europe, as well as China, North Korea, and Cuba, and other countries declared that they were socialist countries. And we should go back to Dugin. And Dugin says all of these three ideologies, liberalism, nationalism, and communism, have no validity at all in the present situation. So we should discard these three ideas, according to him. And the fourth theory comes. And then we should ask, what is the fourth theory of Dugin? The fourth theory is rooted in people, not country, but not ideology, not some fraction, but people. So in Russian language, people is narod. Narod is a Russian word designating people. So Dugin based his theory on this narod, people. And what is people then? This is the community, Russian community. So community is a very vague term, but it can stand for village, for example, or a small town, not city people. But if one city has some people's power, then we should call it people's power, people, narod. This city is controlled by people. But rather, people, narod, can designate village or town or small community. And Dugin said this small community has still now the temporality of their own. So tradition, culture, convention, language, of course. So we should base our idea or our way of thinking on this narod, people, or village, town, small, conventional or traditional groups. Of course, in Russia, there there has been some tradition that the village or small community should be the unit of political decision. Such tradition existed, has existed in Russia. So narod, people, has some unique meaning in Russia. But not only in Russia, but in other countries, this people's power theory can be adapted. And Dugin also hopes that his force theory should be applied to other countries outside Russia. And if we consider carefully, this people's power has been also vehemently discussed in the Western society, including Japan. But this people's power was defined so ambiguously, so vaguely, and it didn't have any, so people's power didn't have any clear supporting group. So this people's power theory or people's power idea was only idea or theory and didn't have any substantial political power. But Dugin asserts that this people's power theory should be empowered by some substantial political group. And this is his aiming force theory. So first we should coin the appropriate term for this force theory that Dugin mentioned. And after that, if we can, we should apply this force theory to our reality, this 21st century world. This world is now 2023, polarized. This is not a world unipolar. As Mearsheimer of Chicago University puts it, after the decline of Soviet Union, the United States of America was enjoying the unipolar world for 30 years or so. But now, Russia comes again, and China emerges, and India is also active. And Islamic states, Islamic countries are also advocating their own world perspective. So multipolar or plural society is more suitable word for the present world. And analyzing this multipolar world, Dugin's theory is very unique and very adequate to adjust it to the reality. So I think that Dugin's theory will be more popular in the future. So today I would like to tell roughly about his story with you listeners. Thank you.